Hello everyone, I'm John, this is Sean,
Alright.
and this is Everyday Food Reviews, and today we've got a bit of a weird one. We've got crunchy roasted crickets.
Yep, so we've got 5 different flavours. We'll get a thumbnail. Okay, sound. So, I found these on Amazon. I bought them, it was 5 different flavours, 2 packs of each flavour, it was £16. I should have looked on their own website where it's £14 with a 15% discount code for your first order. But,
Oh, they're already open. So they come in this box?
yeah. I can't remember if that fit through my letterbox. But,
Welcome to the tiny revolution on the back.
yeah. We've got 5 flavours. We've got smoky barbecue, salt and vinegar, sweet chilli and lime, and peri peri. So they're all kind of flavours you might expect crisps or pub snacks to be. But we've also got salted toffee, so we'll save them for last. So, yeah, I think you mentioned on a month in review that you'd be up for trying crickets because I'd mentioned it and I wasn't sure if you'd be up for it, and you said
Yeah,
you'd be up for it.
we spoke about it, didn't we? That,
Yeah.
We wondered how people would have felt instead of eating normal meat and for protein, then eat insects.
Yeah, so I mean, in principle, it's so easy to like replace the protein in your diet with these. It's a lot less impactful on the environment. I was having
What I'm going to do, mate, I'm going to try and I don't know if you took a picture of that.
I was just going to refer. I was going to say the infographic on the website, but those are the infographics I was just about to talk about. So it's something like 1
Hopefully
litre.
I've got it in shot.
If not, then take a picture and send it, and I'll flash it up, or I can screenshot the website. But yeah, it's something like 1 litre of water per kilogram of protein, compared to thousands. And the same with feed. It was just 1.7 kilos of feed for a kilogram of protein from insects.
Yeah, so litres of water, resources to produce 1 kilogram of each protein source.
Yeah.
And for a cow, it's 22,000 litres. A chicken, 2,300. A pig, 3,500. And a cricket, 1.
Yeah, exactly.
Grams of feed, 10,000 for a cow, and then it subsequently goes 5,000 for a pig, 2.5, I think, and then only 1,700 for a cricket.
Yeah.
And then square metres of cultivable land required to produce a kilogram of each.
Mm-hmm.
It's like 15 square metres for a kilogram of crickets.
Yeah.
Whereas you're looking at 200 square metres for a kilogram of beef.
Yeah.
Cow. It's got the per 100 gram protein, which you know, hopefully you can catch on the video. An average GHG.
GHG.
Average GHG from the production of 1 kilogram of protein.
Greenhouse gases.
Thank you. You got like 1 gram of in a cricket compared to for a kilogram of crickets compared to like just under 2,900 grams.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean, for me and John, we're just excited to eat anything. Like when John said he was up for this and I found them on Amazon, I just thought, oh boy, we can order these and try these and it'll be nice. But I said to my girlfriend, are you going to try these crickets after the video? She says, no. I said, no, not even like a maybe baby. You're not going to think it over. And she says, no. So that was a bit disappointing. Which one's going to start with?
Gluten-free?
Gluten-free. The barbecue ones don't say gluten-free. So if you are gluten intolerant...
No, they also don't give a percentage amount of protein.
No, they just say packed with protein. So
I think I might start with salt and vinegar.
Salt and vinegar. Salt and vinegar then.
Because I hate the flavour.
Oh, do you?
I hate vinegar.
Right. I think
these are just going to taste like salt and vinegar crisps.
Yeah, we'll get these out of the way, then you can rave on about the other flavours then. So, looks to be a lot of seasoning on them, which is good, I suppose. That's what they look like in the bag. If you can see that, probably not, because the light's there. Oh, it's He's got the whole body there. His legs aren't intact. You've got his little head and his wings folded back. Now that I've got it in my hand, I'm a little bit more apprehensive.
Why?
I don't know, it just feels a bit different, like seeing his eyes and that. Good. Cheers.
Cheers.
Not tasting much of that salt and vinegar.
No, it's like a smoky taste.
It's very nutty. It's nutty and savoury. It's not too bitter. I was expecting, and I was a bit worried that they'd be bitter. I'm not sure why. The bags are 15 grams. So even though it's got the impressive amounts per 100 grams, you're looking at only about less than 5 grams of protein in the whole bag. So it's not something you'd necessarily replace your everyday protein with, but I'd say it's certainly probably going to be better than a bag of crisps or something, and there's going to be less fat. Or is there less fat than a bag of nuts? 29 grams of fat per 100 grams. Is that... I'm not sure what's in nuts. It's quite similar, I think. Nuts are going to be 30 or 40 grams, aren't they?
Yeah.
But, I mean, these worked out 160 a bag. If you get them on the actual website, you can probably get them as low as 120 a bag, or more if you buy a pack of 20. So you're looking close to £1 a bag. If you get a pack of 20, like if you're a big fan of them, you know, £1 a bag, that's what you'd pay for something like this, like a little bag of nuts in the supermarket on the grab and go aisle. So in that regard, the value's not too bad.
But you're going to get a bigger pack than 15 grams.
Of like the nuts and stuff in the grab and go, are they bigger? I think they're deceptively light because there seems to be a lot in the bag, but it's only 15 grams.
I'm going to move on to sweet chili and lime.
Yeah. Nice, they're a little bit bitty. I'm getting a bit of sort of bits in my teeth, like with popcorn.
They remind me of popcorn. I was just about to say, it reminds me of popcorn.
Yeah.
The way you might, it's probably like, you know, like when you've got the, maybe like a part of the kernel shell.
Yeah. Oh, so these are significantly different in colour. They're a lot redder. How are they? Is the flavour any stronger? Oh, it is. It says sweet chili and lime. It tastes a lot of garlic.
Yeah.
They're quite a bit spicy. I think they're nice. I like them. Again, just like spicy peanuts or something, but with popcorn kernels.
Yeah, but more bitty. Like,
they're a bit bitty. I don't think it's too bad though. What are you going to next?
oh, sorry, peri peri.
Okay. Is your girlfriend going to try any?
Probably. You should get donkey curry in China.
Well, donkeys aren't insects, are they? You know, we probably all ate that if we bought curry from Iceland in the last few years.
Careful.
The frozen food shop, not the country. That's not a
Oh.
racial remark.
Peri ones are really spicy.
But it's a much sharper kick, even though the other ones are meant to have lime in them, and there's not that sort of garlic that's overwhelming the spice a little bit.
Yeah.
I think that has a much cleaner sort of spicy flavour. I'm actually disappointed with the salt and vinegar ones now because I think they'd be nicer with a bit more seasoning. Peri peri ones are quite herby as well. This open. Barbecue ones, you don't look impressed with them.
I just don't think I'm over impressed with the insects.
These ones smell a bit more like carp bait.
Like the seasoning on them is nice enough, but
I'm not impressed with these barbecue ones compared to the others, to be honest. I don't like this flavour very much. I'll give these to Josh. Josh was saying he wants to try them if he comes over, meets me outside somewhere in the next week. I said there should be some left because my girlfriend won't eat them, but I think these barbecue ones will be left at the very least. They're okay. I'm just not a fan compared to those two spicy ones.
I've got no issue with the seasoning. I've got no issue with eating insects. My issue is just like the texture and the breakdown when you chew them. I couldn't be doing with them. Like, they don't know the hell out of me.
You think so?
Yeah, I hate it when popcorn gets in my teeth, but I still eat it because it's actually delicious, and the breakdown of the rest of the popped corn is it just doesn't go into lots of tiny little bits.
See, I generally avoid popcorn for that same reason, but I could still get on with these because the bits they're a lot smaller and less hard. The popcorn, you get a big kernel stuck in your teeth somewhere. It's like it feels like it's there forever. Even after you get it out, you can still feel it there. It's weird. But
The problem with them, I think, it almost tastes like you've just put a spoonful of barbecue rub or seasoning in your mouth. It's that kind of texture.
yeah,
I don't know. Maybe I would have preferred them with a bit more chew, moisture in them, rather to be roasted to hell.
yeah, I think they wouldn't keep so well then, and you'd have to be more worried about because presumably they can't sort of gut these and clean the tracts and stuff. They're just like feeding them clean stuff and relying on that to sort of cleanse them. So if they weren't cooked all the way through, you might have to worry more about that. I'm not sure. How are these caramel ones? Salted toffee.
Again, season's nice. Just turn into like powder.
See, now I really like these. I think this is my favourite flavour. The others were fine, but I'm not so sure I'd eat them instead of nuts or something. These I would eat instead of popcorn. I'd pick this any day over
nuts,
popcorn.
though.
Instead of nuts, I don't know, like honey roasted almonds or something like that.
Sugar, yeah.
Maybe not instead of nuts. But it's nice to have options. And, you know, this... I think this, for me, it seems like it's more... It's less of... I'm just going to eat this that I've got in my hand. it's less of like a finalized product in my mind as much as it's like a concept. Like, this is what we can do with insects. Insects are edible and a viable protein source. And I'm looking forward to where they take it. And if it's a protein source that can become more viable and cheaper, because it should be cheaper because it's taking up so much less space, it's not got the scale at the moment. So if it can be cheaper, that'll be the day.
Yeah, like, I think where it needs to go is the amount of stuff now that has like pea protein. If you replaced it with insect protein,
it's then not vegetarian anymore, though.
Sorry?
It's then
they're not vegetarian anyway.
Pea protein.
Oh yeah, pea protein is.
Pea protein's often used in a lot of vegetarian and vegan products, so that's the issue with replacing that. I'd like to see it replace whey protein in a lot of things. Because it's still going to be more sustainable than that, isn't it? You think of...
Yeah, potentially. It just depends if because it depends how soluble it is in the end of the day. Whey protein might be a lot more soluble than... Well, you tell me, you're the scientist.
We didn't have a module on the solubility of ground cricket powder versus whey protein. That wasn't covered in chemistry.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, I'd like to see what they could do with like a protein bar.
Yeah, exactly.
Because, I mean, they don't say they're vegan on it anyway, do they? Because they're not.
No.
They're living creatures at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's a viewpoint I would like. If you're vegetarian or vegan, let us know what you think of these, because some vegans and vegetarians are going to be just strictly against the killing of animals, but others might be vegetarian or vegan to minimise the environmental impact of their actions, in which case this is more sustainable than any other animal-based protein source. I'm not sure how it compares to plant-based protein sources, presumably not too favourably, given that 1.7 kilograms of feed is needed to make 1 kilogram of protein. But obviously, insect feed isn't going to be the same as like farming soy protein. I would like to think that this is more sustainable than that, because I'd rather have this than anything that's soy protein that I've had, because it just doesn't taste nice. And from what I understand of the chemistry of it, or the biology of it, soy protein isn't like a complete protein source, whereas this is.
Yeah. Yeah, so if we could have something like, a cricket protein bar.
Mm-hmm.
See what they could do with that.
Because if they can make these, like I say, you get a bag of 20 with the discount and everything, it's going to work out close to £1 a bag.
I wonder what they could do with, and obviously it'd shorten their market because of allergies and stuff, but if they made like a protein nut bar.
Yeah.
I'm thinking kind of like looking...
Like a Nature Valley or something.
Yeah, so it's like you could have maybe oats or nuts with the crickets in there.
Yeah.
That would also help people digest some of it, because even though we're not bothered, there'd be some people who look at them and go, you know what, there's just something about that I don't want to put in my mouth. And that's fine.
Even like a Bombay mix or something as well, just with some of them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. And stuff like that might be better than just selling packets of... Plus as well, you'll have people like myself who just, I think the texture on the breakdown it just isn't good enough.
Yeah, but I think it is. It's a bit strange. It's not like anything else I've had. And once you get over that initial sort of this is an entire formerly living animal, then I'm shoveling.
I don't even think about that. I was just shoveling them in.
It's like that.
That's fine.
Have you seen that Futurama episode with the poplars? It's like that, when they're just eating all of them, and then it's like, oh, each one of these is an entire living animal. It's kind of like that, but then that's no different to shellfish, like cockles or prawns.
Yeah. Yeah, some people as well, like you were saying earlier, how if you're vegetarian or vegan, there's some vegetarians who will eat fish.
Yeah, pescatarians.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a word for the ones that will eat insects specifically, but I don't know it.
Pescatarians.
But yeah, if they're making this entire bag, and they're presumably making it for less than £1 if they can sell it for £1 with the packaging and shipping and all of that, a grenade bar, £2.50, you could have exactly this much cricket in a protein bar with a few nuts and a chocolate coating, and you could, if this is £1 and this is the most expensive thing in it, you could easily sell that for £2 or £2.50, the same as a grenade bar, and have a similar sort of protein profile. However, it would have more carbs because, I mean, these aren't carb free. Like the grenade bars are very low carb.
But there's less carbs in peanuts than this though.
Is there?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Nuts are relatively carb free.
It'd be, I wouldn't like to say it would be keto friendly or anything, but it'd still be relatively low calorie compared to a Mars bar, I'd have thought. If they can make the crickets on their own, this salted toffee flavour, if they can taste that good on their own, then maybe just grind them up a little bit or grind them up into a powder. But if they're just ground up a little bit, like if you ever had a picnic bar.
Yeah.
Just imagine that with crickets in as well as nuts and raisins.
Yeah.
That could be alright.
I think that's really the way forward to get people more into like insect protein, I think.
Yeah.
It definitely would take away the stigma of eating something that looks scary to some people.
Yeah, it's like when you have lobster and you can see him looking at you, sort of thing.
That's the thing. I'm trying to think of it objectively. Like I say, I'm not bothered. You're not bothered. Like, and we've eaten plenty of lobster, seafood with the head still on.
I wouldn't say plenty of lobster, but I do enjoy lobster when I could have it.
But I mean, even prawns.
Yeah.
You bite everything other than the head off a prawn. So it's like, I'm not that fussed.
I remember the first.
But there'll be some people, apart from the allergies anyway, they'll get a prawn and they'll just be like, no.
The first time my girlfriend had lobster, she said she didn't want to eat it because lobsters are cute. And I said, why are lobsters cute? And she says, well, they have eyes. It's like cows have eyes. Pigs have eyes. Yeah, she didn't like the fact that the eyes of the lobster were like on the plate with it. So yeah, that might put some people off. And I know you can get it in powders, and I know that they do sell cooking ingredients. I was trying to go on the website before we did the video, but a lot of the things were sold out, and I think they might be updating the website because it wouldn't load for a while, and then it kept taking me to pages I hadn't clicked on and stuff. But I know they do other things other than just bags of crickets. That's why I say I think this is. I don't want to say it's not a complete product, because it is, and I think that might have been the way I phrased it earlier, but that's not what I mean. I mean, I don't think this is like the end goal of the product.
No.
As far as
and
I
if
can
we've
tell.
come up with ideas of like that within seconds of eating them, no doubt other people have as well already within the company. So
yeah, I'm sure. I just don't know if that would be easier to sell someone on, because it's like if they see this, it's like that's crickets instead of nuts or something, and if they don't mind the idea, they're going to go for it. But then, it might be more palatable if somebody had a chocolate bar with bits of cricket in it, but to sell it, they're going to have to market it based on the fact that it's got bits of cricket in. And for the people who are put off by the crickets, they're just going to have the same problem, I'd have thought, because you can't make someone try it and say, look, this is better because it's kind of ground up a bit and it's a bit different. If they don't like the idea, you're not going to be able to make them try it. So they might still have the same problem. And that might be why we've
going
not seen
into
that yet.
like protein powders, then, as you say.
Yeah.
If somebody like My Protein, I know I've got some over there, like. If they picked something like insect protein up,
yeah,
that could be a whole, and they could even try that as a whole range, perhaps.
Yeah,
Not that we're trying to make him do that more protein, but or eat Grub, get in touch. Tell them.
I don't think My Protein would get in touch with us after what we've said about some of their things.
No, I meant not with us. I meant with each other.
Oh,
eat Grub and My Protein.
Right.
It might be a line that they could do.
Yeah.
Because the majority of people who are taking protein will be taking other supplements anyway, and they're not taking it for the taste.
No.
You'll have ones just
Not
drinking
from My
raw eggs
Protein.
because it's.
Yeah, that's what I do. It's called a prairie oyster. Just put a raw egg or two in a glass and have it with some salt and pepper and lemon juice. It's actually nice. I enjoy them.
Yeah. So that's what I mean. If you've got people who are eating or drinking or however you want,
Yeah.
And it's not the best tasting thing in the world. Some people might like it.
Yeah.
Like weirdos like you. But yeah, you're not gonna taste the difference anyway with the flavour technology that My Protein and other companies have.
No. I mean, we looked
and
briefly,
essentially, you're gonna get more protein.
In one of the month-in reviews, we looked briefly at Protein Rebel and their protein that was meant to be cricket protein, and I think that as well, a lot of people have seen that, and for me it's given the sort of cricket protein powders a bad name, because they said, oh, look at this cricket protein powder, it's 90% protein and blah blah blah. Turns out it's only like 10% cricket in it, and the rest of it's just pea protein or soy protein or something. So that was a bit of a con, because it was still 5 times the price of what that should be. But the one reservation I have about it being a standalone protein powder, they said on that infographic the most you can get, these are all a bit lower because they got flavourings and stuff, but they said the highest yield you can expect from insects is 70 grams of protein per 100 grams. So at that point, if you want to, the cheapest whey protein tends to have 80 grams per 100, so it's still lower, and that's the highest yield before you've added flavours or additives to make it soluble or whatever. So I'd be concerned that there might be extra processing involved, and I don't know how possible that would be, or how many resources that would take, and whether that would end up defeating the object of it being more sustainable compared to whey. Or whether with the scale, whey is going to be relatively efficient just because of the scale. If this could scale to the same extent, whether this would be more efficient and sustainable just because of the farmland further down the chain. Yeah, it's compelling. I think it's really compelling, and that's the main takeaway, I think. If you like the idea, then try these definitely, and go on their own website and order them and use the 15% welcome code like we didn't. But if you're not a fan, I'd still keep an eye on things like this for developments, because maybe something there will change your mind. And that's the main takeaway from this, I think, is that it's really compelling.
Yeah.
If this, I'd like to see more products from them, and if they stay where they are and don't expand into other things, it'll be raining in my heart, I think. Be a bit disappointed.
Well, I was going to make a joke about isn't it always raining in your heart anyway, but...
Well, should I tell you something? I wasn't sure whether to tell you in the video or not, but for the whole video I've been naming Buddy Holly songs.
Why?
Well, because, Buddy Holly's backing band's called the Crickets.
Oh, I don't know. I don't really listen to him. On that note, it's definitely time to end. Thank you very much for joining us. We'll see you next time.
Cheers.